Good morning,
Hello.
Maya. How's it going?
Happy November.
Yes, it is November 1st. It's 9 a.m. over here, which makes it your 11 a.m.
Noon. Noon.
Oh, noon. Oh, yeah, yeah. Plus three. How you doing? What's up?
Awesome. I'm excited to talk about relationships with Shauna.
Yeah, yeah. I love the podcast. And I love talking about relationships. I guess what's been coming up is rejection. And, in a way where it's like you can look at what the person can receive
Hmm.
and and then like you can give them what they can receive or just be an allowance of them or both. So
Wow,
so
wow. How do we break this down for someone who's like, wait, what? So let's say you meet someone, and then what happens?
well, we're hanging out, sitting there, and all of a sudden they're like, "You're rejecting me," or like, yeah, if it comes to like maybe intimacy or conversation, a conversation or a movement or being with someone and I'm just sitting there kind of not like I think a lot of people have this women have said this. They've had this expectation of I just want you to jump on me and like um throw me like into the bed and roll around and I'm like first of all, like we're trying to watch a TV show. And second of all, I'm pretty lazy. Like, does it look like I'm going to be doing much? And then the rejection sets in.
Yeah, wow. Wow. It's like the evolution of relationships. Really, like if we look at it, it's like so many crazy points of views, judgments, expectations. Like it became this very, very, very complicated world instead of being something that can be super fun and not significant and light maybe, and something that can add to your life. And it's not wrong at all. Like we learn with every one of those relationships which walls we're hitting up against and what points of view we still have in place. But we're here talking about what happens when you add consciousness to your relationships. It's like it walks you through all these things that you keep doing or keep choosing from total like blind spot until you don't, until you start asking questions, until you're like, hey, I want something different here. So this is like a great example because it can happen in so many forms, but similar result kind of thing. What you're
I guess,
describing here.
sorry, what was that?
Yeah, what you're describing here. It's like, yeah.
I also kind of looked at it, like I started to look at it in a different way of like there's relationships, sex, and lust. And I think a lot of people are really maybe hungry for lust, but it's also not a forced thing. It's not like, okay, now it is 6 p.m. and now you must jump on me. It's like, like I don't think that's going to like there's like if you try and tell someone what to do in that regard, that's just crazy. Like, or like, I'm not a
And
mind reader.
another thing that shows up for a lot of couples is almost like it's almost like there's this automatic thing that if one person wants it more than the other's job is to be like, no, I don't want this, which is super interesting. Like, why is that?
That is interesting because like I hmm.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
like if one person
Do we use the clearing statement on this thing?
we can, yeah.
Okay. So everything that is, can we destroy and not create it all?
Yeah. I'm like that
Yeah,
describes.
good and bad, pot and pock, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, creations, bases, and beyonds. Wow.
Um, I will share the clearing statement link in this podcast, the clearing statement. So Maya and I have a lot of conversations on podcasts and in general, one to one. And so when we're talking and asking these questions, we're bringing up a lot. We're bringing up a whole bunch of points of views. We talk about, well, today we're kind of talking about rejection, relationship, lust, sex, everything. And when it brings up an energy, the clearing statement clears all of that.
Yeah, it's kind of like this energetic vacuum cleaner. So we were like, oh, all this is right here in front of me. Okay, everything that is, I'm releasing that from my life kind of thing. And what choice can I make now that that space opens up and I don't necessarily have to go back and create those same points of views and ideas.
Yeah, and it's like it can be a practice to consciously be like, okay, I will do something different. But first of all, you kind of have to see what you're doing first. Um, because for me, it's not really making sense, but I'm like, okay, maybe I can do something different, choose something different. And it's getting a lot of reactions and really quickly showing like who's gonna leave or who's gonna stay. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting because I'm like not doing like it's kind of funny you brought that up actually. It's kind of genius when you said, okay, one person wants you or something, and then but you're like, well, no, I'm not gonna do that, or I'm gonna reject this. Maybe it
Yeah.
is rejection.
Almost the automatic response system is like, oh, finally someone wants me. Never mind. Like, we keep asking for it and asking for it. And when it shows up, it's like, oh no, my job is to reject them. What?
Or there's like the complications of like, um, it's like the give and take system. So it's like, yeah, but if then I touch you, then you have to touch me, and if you don't touch me the right way, then then there's like then I don't want to do anything. Like there's it's very complicated, these interesting things that come in our heads.
And like so much of how we learn to do relationships is not our reality, which sounds like a very broad statement, but it is a discovery journey of like, okay, what's my reality with relationships, with touch, with sex, with lust, with all the things you mentioned. It's like if I see all of that or start to be more aware of where I'm doing all of that, what's my reality? How do I actually want to be, even though that's all I've learned? Like I've learned all these lies that this is how relationships have to be, have to end up with rejection or fight. So what else can I choose now that I'm aware of it?
Yeah, and that's it's great to ask a question because I've been seeing a lot of people in their heads. So then it's almost like that symbiotic relationship, but I'll be like always feel like I'm doing my own thing, like living my life and doing relationship or dating. But what happens is people go with something in their head and I don't know how long they go with it for, and then they come back to me and I'm like, what is going on? Because it's like where did this come from? Like, what's going on here? Because it's like, is this, yeah, from somebody's head that they've created something and it has nothing to do with what's actually going on.
It's also an interesting thing to like, because you can choose to do conscious relationships with a person, but in actuality, all you have to do is choose to do it with yourself. Like they don't even necessarily have to choose it or have to be involved in what you're looking at and what you're clearing for yourself. And most of the time, the relationship will change. It will just change from your choice of changing it. But a lot of times it's like, let's talk, but that doesn't actually create what we desire. So yeah, it's like start looking at what you would like to change with yourself for yourself and see how that can trickle out to all your relationships in your lives.
That's kind of funny because you're like, let's talk. And how many people do that in relationship? Okay, we need to talk about this. Okay, like I feel like this or you did that. And it's like trying to communicate and converse. Meanwhile, maybe you're talking to yourself. Like, like maybe you're just like,
Meanwhile, you're hitting your head against the wall and usually making things worse.
yeah, because ain't nobody want to hear anybody.
Oh,
Oh, That's a lot of fun. Like it's funny because I looked at having lust with, I mean, I was gonna say like the people that I was dating. I was gonna say everybody, but that may not be a possibility because it showed that it wasn't.
Mhm.
Um, and so with like dating, it was kind of interesting because, there's these points of views of, oh, we have to take it slow, or maybe if it's a hookup, it's really fast and one and done. And I was trying to see somebody and it was just really not working out. Like just no words could help and the energy just was crazy. But I looked at this, I was like, okay, they want a relationship. Sure, I'll try and give that to them. Didn't work. They wanted lust and sex, and I was like, okay, let's see how this works. And there was no opening there. There was no like I don't, I wonder what was there because there was like maybe rejection upon rejection, or maybe there was just nothing there.
Mm. And also, how interesting is it that most of the time, most of us go to like, what does this person require and desire? I can be that for them. We were so entrained to do that. Like, I'm glad you bring it up because we don't even notice sometimes, like, why are you with this person? Because they chose me. Shit, what the, like you don't, and it's non-cognitive, of course, but it's like, we've been so entrained out of really looking at what we desired, and it takes a lot of, not a lot of, but it's like this courage to start turning that motion towards you and actually look. Like, how many times do we try to look at what we desire and we kind of avoid it or move on to something else, or like go back to all our chores and all our obligations and immediately forget that we were supposed to look at what we desire. It can be a fascinating journey for anyone to be like, keep going back to that to actually create a life you desire. Like, how many of our relationships are just a functionality of reactive realities? Like, oh, they want me, I can do that for them. Oh, they want relationship, I can do that with for them. It's like, how much am I involved in this? 5%.
Yeah, I was looking at that because in some instances where the person's like, I want a relationship, I was like, oh, can I do this? Let's see. And then it was very interesting because I said, well, I can't give myself up. Like, there's no way. And that just didn't work. Like, it didn't work out. Um, Whereas, like, can the one person truly be your forever to give you everything? And it's like, but the energy was nice there, the touch was nice, but the relationship didn't work, the friendship didn't work. But this energy was great, and that person had that. Whereas, like, we looked like at sometimes it's just really like we're set on being with one person forever, which is interesting.
I hope I remember correctly, but I think Simone Milasas says, like, we're not penguins. We don't mate for life. And that really stuck with me because it's like every time we're trying to create that, it's like we go to some ideal that has nothing to do with our lives. And of course, like, there's knowing what you know and doing what's true for you, in the sense of like, if you found a partner for life, go for it. It's not like this. Nothing is a blank statement, but it's more opening up to question like, oh, do I have to get married and have 2.5 children? Do I have to stay with this person until we're both sitting in rocking chairs? Like, it's more to bring you to question rather than functioning on what you're supposed to do here on planet Earth. And that's a biggie.
It's so funny because yeah, like with like kind of like the what people want, or there's this interesting thing about what people think that they want. So there's the thoughts and the conclusion versus like what is actually going on. Like maybe their body just wants to sit and watch a movie or go for a walk, but then their brain is thinking, because I'm with someone, we must be like banging on the kitchen sink and like having sex 24/7. And I'm like, I've had so many people say to me like that they want me to do certain things, and I'm like, well, where's the energy? Where's the lust? Funny enough, what I was looking at is there is actually someone in my life who I just want to pounce. Like, and it's really cool because I've been looking at that and being like, okay, what is this person doing? What is this energy? Like, do they love their body?
Mm.
Who are they? Like, I see this person here and there, like it's not all the time, but there's
Mhm.
something about this person where I'm like, oh my God, they just get me going. So it's
Mm.
like, but then I look at like a lot of people that I have dated and there was nothing there and I'm like, okay, so what's going on here? Like what am I attracted to? Or, and it's not a solid concrete thing like we're gonna get married now. It's like fun.
Yeah, and this is a whole universe to explore, but a lot of times our bodies just want to heal somebody else's body, and nobody talks about it until, I don't know, for me, I've been exposed to that through Dr. Dane Here's classes, but it was like a whole universe of sometimes it's just about the sexual healing. And even if you're okay with that, it changes like, oh, okay, so this encounter was about the sexual healing and that's it. We can move on. Like you don't have to look to what's wrong, why weren't we together after that? Like you can just, and also you can choose not to do it anymore if it doesn't work for you. But if you did have an encounter like that and you do acknowledge, oh, it was about the sexual healing, it might just give you that freedom of like, okay, it didn't have to be longer than that. It didn't have to be anything more than that. And how does it get any better that I could contribute to that person in that way?
That's actually pretty cool. I've never like heard that in that way because I think there was what I was looking at could be, conclusion, well, no question, or like the right and wrong of, or like the rightness of sex and lust versus the wrongness of no energy and everything. So I find that very interesting because it's like, oh, when you went to sexual healing, I was like, or like being a healer, healing their body, I was like, oh, wow,
And
that
if you
is,
have no idea what I'm talking about, one place to start could be the book Body Whispering. It does give you some information about healing, body healing, sexual healing, all of that.
is that by Dane?
Mhm.
Okay, so that's by Dr. Dane here. Pretty sure random people listen to this podcast. Like, and that's why I love making the episodes is because once you make one, then it's like people, like there's a big download and then eventually it's just constantly reaching different places. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
Wow. That's such an acknowledgement to like look at how we are healers or like that instead of like this reality and sex and relationship.
Yeah, a huge thing that Dane changed for me is like if we weren't so result oriented even in that realm, how would you look at this one encounter or this other encounter? Like if it wasn't about the, I don't know, the orgasm or like the I did it, we both got naked, what else is there, you know?
Yeah.
And it just gives you a broader perspective of every experience, what it can be.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, the result, like that is actually like it looks more beautiful, like, like there's more to it. Not, it doesn't have to be significant, but it's like, yeah, something different for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. So like, what, okay, I know we're gonna eventually wrap it up here, but like back to the whole rejection thing, like what even is that? Is that just something that's like not
Well,
real?
that's another clearing. Again, we're going back to the energetic clearings. Um, I don't know if it's worth mentioning another book,
That's
but
true.
the book is literally called Projections, Expectations, Separations, Judgments, and Rejections. And it's very weird to read it. Like you don't even get what you're reading at the beginning, but if you start living from there, all your relationships change. But if you ever have a projection or an expectation, which is us all day, every day with everyone, it
Mhm.
always leads to separation, judgment, and rejection. So you really, really have to start breaking down with every person, everything, every class, every project, every contract. It's like, what am I projecting and expecting here? And then you kind of start seeing it everywhere, and it can take time, but it's like, it's amazing when you see it and when you realize you don't have to function from it. But, even if you're thinking about one person and you ask, okay, what am I expecting and projecting about this person? It's like a whole universe. And when we do that, it always, always, always leads to separation, judgment, rejection.
I hope this reaches the world. Like, I hope this podcast just reaches every single person on planet Earth. That is my projection and expectation.
Yeah, and it is a practice. It's like every day I was working with someone a week ago and we were talking and we're both been doing Access for at least 10 years, if not more. And still, it shows up and it's not wrong. It's like, oh, I was expecting this person to do this thing and then they didn't do this thing. So now I'm like in the land of rejection, separation, being angry at them. Like it doesn't mean that it stopped showing up, but you can be way more quick of seeing what you're doing or what you expected, or like, and that gives you a lot of freedom. It just gives you an easier life. Like, instead of constantly
Yeah.
being blind to everything we're doing all the time, it's like it starts giving you your power back of like, what are my choices creating? What am I doing here? What am I expecting here? Like, you keep bringing it back and you just start making your life way easier.
That's so crazy because I know they say look at what will actually happen and like see what's going on in their head, see what they're thinking, see what the action is versus what they say. Because I had what everything you just said literally just happened. Oh my God, it's just like storybook. It's like you're reading, like I must have like like the whole story imprinted on me. So that's what happened. Someone was like, okay, I'll show up. And I was like, cool. I spent all this time prepping, getting ready, and then they didn't show up. And I was like, I got so, I did the whole thing. I
Yeah.
did the whole kit and caboodle, the, from
Yeah.
like, yeah. And then, yeah. And then that was kind of sticking me because then that also led into so many other things like, like feelings and betrayal and like drama. And I was like, oh my God, like, but I guess the projection and expectation was that they would just stick to their word.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine if we already cancel out that one little statement and we don't believe it's true anymore.
Yeah.
All our actions may be different. All our choices may be different. Like, and you can, again, I probably said this before, but another amazing, amazing thing I learned from Access Consciousness is trust actually means I'm going to trust that this man won't bring the toilet seat down. It doesn't mean I'm going to teach him how to put down the toilet seats.
Yeah.
So the same thing. Like, if I trust that the person is not true to their words, like, how much easier is my life?
Yeah. Like and you'd mentioned lightness as well. And like when I look at that, it's like, okay, to me, it may not make sense. But like I think what this conversation that we've had today kind of allows us to function and everyone listening to function in a different way. Like to function at like it doesn't make sense, it's not normal, and to actually live that and put that into action, it's going to be so it doesn't make sense. You're not really using your brain. You're just kind of like asking, well, and being aware of what's light, following that, being aware of what's true. So awareness is not necessarily like computing.
And also, it can seem selfish. I'm like, oh, so now you're like not trusting people or not preparing for them if they're coming to your house, or like, and it's this weird thing that you have to start practicing to discover, sorry, for yourself what it will look like. And it's like it is the opposite of what we think it will be. Like it's the complete, it actually makes you a more generous person, a more open person, a person that can receive and gift more. And but it takes practice. It's like it
It
takes removing all the projections and expectations from your way in order to start functioning from that. And that's a journey. And it can be fun.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, choosing that and lightness, which can be very different. Ooh, it feels light. Cool. Well, I appreciate you, and I'm always grateful to have these conversations with you. Yeah, thanks for hopping on the podcast today. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Shauna.
Alrighty. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.